questions people have, and then try and
move up a little closer if you can. Yeah, cool.
Also, like, encourage, like, if they're saying, oh no, a question is just being like, okay, well, trying to trigger some good questions you know that they need help with. Like, how are you going with your meal?
Maybe I think the main thing is just like, who is consistently staying within their calorie target? And then going, okay, if you are going over, why? Fuck, look at those white caps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, we picked the words right. Yay.
Yeah, because people are in here for weight loss. So let's really double down on the nutrition and be like, how are you going with your calories? How are you going with your tracking?
Oh, Karen's here. Hey, Karen, awesome to see you on the call.
Hello?
Hi, Karen, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
That's good.
Hang on.
You're more than welcome to be on
Right.
video, audio, whatever suits you best. How's your day been so far?
Sorry, I can't hear. Let me just get the sound up. That might be better. I'm in the car. I've just dropped my daughter off at a flip-out birthday party.
Cool. That sounds great.
All happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, let me try and get the sound going more because it's not working properly yet. Sound. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll just give it a couple of minutes. Hopefully a few other people jump on too. Awesome. Just let our in.
Oh. There I go. Now I have proper sound. I can hear you properly now.
We can hear you better too.
Great. Thank you. I'm all right. I still feel full of cold, but I'm on the mend.
Oh, good. Well, hey, that's the thing. At least you've been smashing back the vitamin C, right?
Oh, like there's no tomorrow, right? It's not toxic in higher doses.
Awesome. I love it. Good stuff. So, hey, look, chat us through where you're at in regards to where you're up to in the group at the moment. Did you have a bit of a look through all the resources after our chat the other day?
I did. I had a bit of a look, but I was getting progressively worse after our chat. So then I had to power through work the next day because it was crazy. But and I've got Felix still homesick, and Molly she's gone to this party, but she sounds like she smokes a pack of cigarettes a day. I don't know. I mean, it'll teach me. I always say we never get sick. Like, our household never gets sick, and then, well, clearly we do, right? But we don't normally.
It's a hard one, especially when, you are undertaking the likes of coaching as well. It can feel a little disheartening, but what I always like to say is it's actually a good thing when you do fall a little bit sick on something like a coaching experience, purely because you know that there's a plan in place. You know you have something to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, a lot of people fall into that all or nothing of, I'm really sick, well, I'm just not going to do anything. Like, I'll start again next week, rather than actually going, okay, well, what are the variables that I can control in this situation? I can make sure that I'm staying hydrated. If I'm feeling up to it, I can go for a gentle walk. I'm not going to try and do any exercise because that's just a huge stressor on the body, but there are certain things that are still within my control, even though I'm feeling pretty crappy. So I think it's good to have that sense of community while you're recovering, and just a great kind of form of accountability to get back into things when you're feeling better too.
Yes, I think that's good logic. I did go to the farmer's market this morning and bought a load of organic fruit and veg, and I made myself a spinach and carrot and raspberry smoothie and, wolfed down the entire jug of it.
Good on you. No, awesome. Perfect. Well, hey, like Araha, I see that you're on too, which is great. Hopefully the internet's all good today. Hey. So let's just dive into things, seeing as there's the three of you on the call, hopefully a few other people join too. But does anybody have any specific questions that you'd like to cover off before we dive further into the call today? Feel free just to unmute and we can just answer those as we go along.
No questions from me at this stage, thanks.
No worries, Karen. Anything you want to cover off today, Araha? Oh, I'll just get you to unmute Araha 26.
Hey guys, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Easy. And Ming, how are you doing? Do you have any specific questions today?
You can even chat write a message in the chat as well if you want to do it that way.
100%. Yeah, easy peasy. We'll just see it. Yeah, let us know in the chat, Ming, if you have any questions at all or anything that you want to cover off. But seeing as we don't have any questions, we may as well just have a bit of a chit chat and just go through a couple of things as well. So first and foremost, how is everybody going with their calorie targets right now? Araha, will start with you if you're happy to do that. How have you been going with your tracking your nutrition and sticking to your deficit overall?
Okay, so I haven't been tracking this week, but I know that I'm staying within the count because I'm essentially just eating the same thing. So I know that I'm staying within the count. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. And also I've lost weight, so I'm happy.
Nice. Did you use the scales at work?
I use the scales at work, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm just under 2 kgs.
Awesome.
So I'm like 1.8 down, so nearly at the 2 kg mark. And I also did park run again today. I'm in an afternoon again, so I did I walked it today with a friend, but I still did it. So I'm happy, and I feel like I know even though the food is like super important, and I'm just eating really bland at the moment, but it's fine. It suits my work life balance. But I'm hitting 10,000 every single day, so I'm super happy with that.
That's fantastic.
Cool and awesome. And
yeah, sorry, my internet's in and out, but I
that's
can hear
okay.
you guys.
Awesome. Well done, Araha. That's
Yeah.
so cool to hear. And I guess for context for Karen and Maringa, Araha's worked with Eilish for like one-on-one for a long period of time and gone through like an extended period of tracking her nutrition and really understanding like portion sizes and macronutrients. So she's at the point now where she may, like, we would still encourage her to track, but she's at the point where she has a really good understanding. And when she says I'm eating the same things, she knows she's in a deficit because of those portion sizes. So we would still encourage you both to, obviously, because you're, I've actually worked with Maringa, so she's a little bit more experienced, but I'd really encourage you both, especially you, Karen, to really dive into the tracking side of things to the best of your ability to get a lot more clarity around, like, you know, how many calories are in the different foods, tracking nice and accurately, and using your kitchen scales when you're at home, making the recipes and all those types of things, because that's really going to lay the foundation for you to really understand how you can start achieving your weight loss goals.
100%.
That's great. I think that's a good idea. You know, when I was in my 20s, literally mobile phones weren't around yet. And so I used to carry around a little book, a calorie counter book. And I used to count every calorie, right? And I knew everything. I mean, God knows why. I was like skinny beyond, you know, I was that person that everyone said, you need to eat, you're too skinny. But it wasn't an eating disorder, just to be clear. And so now I'm tracking them electronically on my MyFitnessPal thing. And I'm like, Christ, there's so much more in everything than I thought. So yes, I think it's definitely a worthwhile exercise for me at the moment.
That's awesome. And I think, you know, that's one of the most empowering things around tracking our nutrition as well, because it's very easy when we're not aware of the calories in certain things. And I know everybody's been here going, I really don't eat that much. I just don't understand why I'm not losing the weight or why I'm gaining weight. And then within literally 1 week of tracking really accurately, we figure out that slice of banana bread was 600 calories and my Frappuccino was 700 calories. And that's basically my calories for the day. It's very eye-opening. And it allows us to really understand objectively, okay, this is what's going on with my nutrition right now, and I'm not necessarily in line with the calories that I need to be getting continuous weight loss as well. But the beautiful thing about tracking is that it's for a period of time. It's not a forever thing, exactly like Araha's doing right now. Like Araha, you've been tracking your nutrition for such a long period of time, you understand how your calorie deficit works, how the whole process of fat loss works, so you can take a more intuitive eating approach, which is the end goal. So we know that we're utilizing tracking our nutrition because it's a roadmap to a destination we haven't been before. So if we're trying to drive to a destination without Google Maps, for example, we're like turning down every which way, we're taking the wrong turn, we hit like a roadblock, oh my gosh, we end up getting so frustrated that we just turn around and end up back home. Whereas when we have a direct roadmap, exactly like tracking our nutrition, we know to get from A to B, whether that's 5, 10, 15, 20 kilos, I need to eat to my deficit and I need to be doing this consistently over a period of time, gets us to that goal. And then from there, that's where we start going, okay, now I don't need tracking my nutrition as hands-on as I did at the start of my goal, and I can start being more intuitive because I understand the role that nutrition plays, that calories play, that protein plays in my goals overall, if that makes sense. Awesome. Perfect. Fun times with tracking our nutrition, which is good. So what I will do is I just want to pull up our check-ins for the week as well from our premium members, because we did have a handful of them come through. So let me just have a wee look here. Perfect. So Ming sent hers through this week, and a really big win for you, Te Maringa, was that 9,000 steps a day, which is fantastic. Obviously, our steps play such an important role in our overall health and wellness journey too. And I know, Araha, you've been doing really well with hitting your 10K steps a day, which is awesome. Karen, how are you going at the moment? I know, obviously, being sick, it's been a little bit tough, but how are you going with that step target that we discussed?
On Thursday, I did 8,500, but then
Ooh.
yesterday I didn't because I was working from home and I just didn't have the energy. So I looked last night and it was about 3.5, but that's okay. I should be able to get a good 7 in today, and then pick it up from there a bit more.
Fantastic.
Awesome. And the reason we have a step target, and you've probably heard this many times from Alish and I, but again, like steps and like incidental activity play such a huge role in our energy output over the course of the day. In fact, as an average, it's probably like more like 15% of our average over the course of a week, where dedicated exercise could only be as low as 5%. So all the incidental activities such as like fidgeting and, you know, hanging the washing out or whatever it needs to be, and then, you know, your step target, even just through doing that, you can achieve your weight loss goals because you're increasing that incidental activity, which is a large component. So we've had clients lose, you know, 10, 20 kilos without any exercise because we focused on that step target. So any incidental activity is great. And so even when you're not feeling well, something as simple as, you know, doing something in the home or going for a walk around the block, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes, not only is it going to increase your energy output over the course of the day, it's going to have that positive flow-on effect of your energy levels, because as we know, when we get out and we move our body and we get some fresh air and some sunlight, it just has that positive flow-on effect and will lead to some other really great outcomes in your day.
I think that's so true. You're so right. It's a good reminder.
100%. Awesome. So as far as all the resources, we're kind of moving through obviously our weeks now. So Karen, technically you'll still be in around that week 1 mark. And Araha, are you up to week 4 now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And Ming, I think you're up to week 3 or 4 as well. So next week we'll be moving into phase 2, which is pretty exciting. So taking a bit of a deeper look at protein and the function that protein plays within our diet as well. So just as a bit of a recap, obviously it is a very staged out process. We're starting initially in phase 1, focusing on tracking our calories only. And then in phase 2, that's where we start to look at our protein and dietary fiber overall and the role and functionality that will play long term for us with our fat loss goals and our overall health goals as well, which is really exciting. So it's good to see that everybody's moving through these resources, ticking them off as they go along. Is anybody meal prepping this weekend or tomorrow?
Maybe.
Totally fine. No, that's a-okay. So obviously, like, we do have some great resources within the group as well, guys, if you want to go through and have a bit of a look at meal prepping and ensuring that you are setting yourself up for success. It's not mandatory, but it can be really helpful if you know that your weeks are very changeable and really busy. We like to keep it nice and simple, especially now the weather's getting a little cooler. Chuck it in the crock pot, and then we're good to go for at least 10 serves, which is fantastic. So quick and easy recipes will always win out when it comes to meal prep as well.
Yes, good point.
Awesome. Perfect, guys. Well, look, everything's looking really good. It sounds like everybody's on track. So are there any questions that are coming up just from the conversation right now?
No, not from me. I'm happy.
Awesome. Perfect. Anything that anybody wants to know a little bit more about in regards to calories, tracking nutrition, anything on anybody's mind?
Not at the moment from me. I'm looking forward to diving into it more this week.
Amazing. That sounds really good. So I guess the goal next week, everybody, is ensuring that you're tracking consistently. I think it'd be really good, Araha, as well, just to eliminate the guesswork. I know you're eating the same things, but even if you just set aside some time on Sunday to just pre-track in those meals so you don't need to worry about it throughout the week, just to ensure there's no discrepancies adding up, because your goal is very time sensitive with that wedding coming up too. So making sure
Yeah.
that we are just kind of eliminating discrepancies where possible, and the best way to do that is just tracking consistently, making sure that we're just going through the week's resources, so ensuring that you're setting some time aside to have a look through the week that you're on within the group, making sure that if you do think of any questions, pop them in the group as well so that we can answer those questions and benefit everybody as we go. And of course, just ensuring that we're downloading those resources as we go too. If you do want to have access to them, make sure that you're just saving them to your computer as well. And what we'll be doing throughout the week is just making sure that we're setting that reminder to do your accountability report too. So generally either on a Saturday or a Sunday, just submit your accountability report. Definitely submit that one, Karen, even though obviously we haven't gotten through a full week yet.
Okay.
Submit that one to reflect on your week and your efforts.
Okay.
And continue going through those in the live calls as well.
Okay, great. We'll do that.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Hey, Ming, did you have any questions before we wrap things up today? I'll just send her a quick message. Hopefully that chat pops up for you, Ming.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. That's okay. No stress. Awesome. So, what's everybody's plan for the rest of Saturday and Sunday? Karen, what are you doing for the rest of today and tomorrow?
I have to duck to Westville Miranda and run some errands and then go back and pick up the child.
Right. Yeah. Good stuff. That sounds like fun. And Araha, what are you doing for the rest of the weekend?
Afternoon shifts. Back at work at 1 o'clock today, shortly. I didn't want to do the park run today because it started raining halfway through, but also I finished at like midnight last night, so I felt a bit tired, but I still got up and did it, so that's a big win for me.
Massive. Oh, good effort.
And then also I'm actually heading off to NZ for 5 days on the 8th. So yeah, I think I will, okay, the goal for me this week is to just track the food. Yes, to track my food, because I know it's always tricky when you go overseas. Time difference, food, meeting other people, catching up. So yeah, that'll probably be a big goal for me to focus on for the 5 days that I'm away, just to make sure that I'm sticking to my calories.
Yeah.
So yes, I will keep that in mind.
100%. And another really great option you could utilize too, Araha, is the concept of calorie cycling as well. So we know that our day-to-day calories are really important, but what we really want to focus on is the weekly average calories that we're consuming. So say, for example, there was bank calories throughout the week to allow you a bit more flexibility while you're in New Zealand. So let's just say Monday through Friday, you take 100 calories from your deficit and you eat 100 calories under that target. So what we've now done is we've banked 100 calories each day. So we have 500 calories spare to allocate to either Saturday or Sunday to have slightly higher calorie days. So we can increase, say, intake on Saturday and Sunday by 250 calories each day, and we'd still at the end of the week end up in that same weekly average deficit. So that can allow you a bit of flexibility for the days that you're traveling, especially with the time difference, because it can be quite tricky, and just allows you to have a little bit more food flexibility and freedom while you're spending that time with friends and family back home.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because the other way I thought about it too, that's why I haven't meal prepped, is because I'm driving from Kalgoorlie to Perth on the 8th, so that'll be like 6 and a bit hours. So I thought, well, I'm not really going to be doing much, so I thought that will be the day that I'll eat the least calories. Like, I've sort of pre-thought how I'll do it to make sure, and then like that's how I'll bank the calories for when I'm back home.
Perfect.
Because I'm going to be that'll be 6.5 hours of driving with a couple of stops for fuel. and I'll have just some snacks on the way. So I think, like, I feel like that's kind of how I'm going to tackle that bit. Maybe if that works out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to be proactive, and I love that you're thinking ahead and thinking about, okay, I've got a lot of travel ahead of me. What can I do to still ensure that I'm in line with my goals, right? And that's the most important thing, because especially when we are traveling and we get busy, our goals tend to kind of shift down the priority list in order of importance, and we always end up putting ourselves and our goals last. Whereas if we're being proactive in advance and going,
Yeah.
right, I'll be driving for 6.5 hours, but I can get some snacks that are going to keep me nice and full, that are in line with my calorie target. I'm going to make sure that maybe I go for a walk, big walk, to get some steps in before I jump in the car that day. Just planning ahead and figuring out how all of that's working too. So that sounds like an awesome plan.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, but
Amazing.
yeah, I will yeah, I think definitely like the tracking this week. Yeah, I'll make sure that I prioritize that so I stay on track.
Beautiful. That sounds like a plan to me. So look, have an amazing weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on the call. It's so great to see you on the call, Karen, you too, Ming. And as always, Araha, thanks for jumping on. It's awesome to see that you're regularly on these calls. Please sing out if you have any questions whatsoever, but we'll be touching base with another live call on Monday. And obviously just flicking everybody a message at the end of next week to make sure everyone's doing okay as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a good
No worries.
weekend.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.